And welcome back to my summer or end of summer lunch and learn series. I am back again this Wednesday with a special guest. She's been with us before, Dr. Rosner. How you doing, Dr. Ross, for
I
short?
am so fabulous. Helen, thank you so much for inviting me back. I love your podcast. I learn so much when I get to tune in. And so when you have me as a guest, it's always a delight. So thank you.
Oh, well, thank you for coming again. I know it takes a little bit of your time, but we'll make this short because these are the short ones. So we're going to talk today. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself real quick. For those that don't know me, I'm Helen Panos, Dynamis Learning, a K through 12 tutoring SAT ACT prep company. We basically help parents have calm and peace in their lives because we know there's battles at the kitchen table, are there not? Over something related to academics. Everybody has them. You're not new or different. This has been going on for years. So we help calm that chaos, and we do that through a lot of different ways. Just had a conversation with a parent. Well, we start talking about the content, but then it may shift to other things like executive functioning or hey, what is your child doing? It sounds like their scores are high. How about the gifted program? So we will advocate for parents and for the students, and that's I don't want to give all our secrets away, but that's what we do. And I can have a phone conversation with you guys about what you're experiencing. So let's get back to our guest because it's all about her today. So how to earn a degree completely debt free? Who does not want to do that? Anybody raising their hands? No. I wouldn't think you are.
Actually, Helen, I cannot tell you how many people I know that have raised their hands to that.
Oh, wow.
Just this morning, I had somebody that, yes.
Raise their hand.
Yes. Yeah.
So I wish I had all these options when I was in college, Dr. Ross, because hey, we didn't have the Hope, we didn't have Zelle, we didn't have what you're doing. So, and all these resources. So now parents, you do. So we're talking mainly to what grade levels, Dr. Ross, should be listening to this for sure.
My perfect grade levels are middle schoolers and their families and educators.
Well,
because if we can change that mindset in middle school, like I have a debt-free degree club curriculum, and it's in Washington State. It's the only club I have established right now, and I actually get to meet them next month. So in person, I'm so excited. But they will the kids in that club, they will never ever go into debt for education, and that's what I want nationwide.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So tell everybody just a tad about you in a couple sentence or three, so they know who you are.
So I am passionate about debt-free degree. I am passionate about teaching you how to love yourself enough to say no to student loans and yes to financial freedom. I have 3 degrees, including my PhD, and I only took $1,000 in loans. And so this process, this mindset has been out there. It's just not well advertised. And so it's a gift that my parents gave to me. And I published a book last June, Debt-Free Degree. And so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I am really passionate about helping young people find where they belong in the world and to make sure that they get there unencumbered by student loan debt.
Awesome. So I know you have a grit blueprint, right? So how does that play? You might want to tell people what that is, but how does it play a crucial role in achieving a debt-free degree? And could you explain its core components?
Absolutely. Oh, that's a great question, Helen. You've been doing your research, sister. I use, the grit blueprint in all of my coaching. And so in debt-free degree, and I'm going to go over the GRIT quickly, and then I'll come back around. So the G stands for grants and scholarships. The R is return on investment. The I is interconnection. That's the I in all of my programs. And the T is my proven triangle approach. So if you think of like a 3-legged stool, on one corner, there's SM, that's student money. The other corner is FM, your friends, your family, your folks, the people you're familiar with. And then the last one is OPM, and that is
OPM. No.
Other people's money.
No.
other people's money. And so how are we gonna use that? So the G grants and scholarships, there is $46 billion in grants and scholarships out there. 46 billion with the B. And I hear this all the
Wow.
time. My child is white, so there's nothing available for them. My child is a C student, so there's nothing available for them. My child,
Yeah.
this or that. I cannot even tell you how many scholarships go where they're not even awarded because either people aren't applying for them or people are applying for them but not checking their emails.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a whole segment, Helen.
Oh gosh.
Okay. So
Yeah, you don't want to see what my e-box looks like too.
yeah, well, there we go. Yes. So then the R is return on investment. So I recently had a friend reach out, and this is a friend I've known for like 25 years. And she went into debt, quite like six-figure debt, to become a teacher to get her undergrad. And
Mm.
she just reached out to me and she said, I'm starting the program next month. I am doing this program, blah, blah, blah. Can you help me, earn it debt free? And I'm like, you're not starting with the mindset of a debt free degree. You're starting with, I'm going to this school, I'm going next month, and I need $50,000 and I need it next week. And that's
Mm-hmm.
not the way debt free degree works. And so, and that was my first thing that I said back to her. I said, rather than, looking for funding right now, you need to evaluate the return on investment. If you don't get funding up front and you have to take loans, how long is it going to take you to pay that back? And
Mm-hmm.
it's incredible that people don't evaluate how long this is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
The I is interconnection. So it's all about working smarter, not harder. It's understanding that everything that we do has some type of value and we can maximize it. So, in entrepreneurship, how we hear, you should use content, you should be able to repurpose content 3 or 4 times at least. Well, you should be thinking that way in terms of a debt-free degree. And then the triangle approach, SM, of course, that's what the student is going to put in,
Yeah.
and ways that the student can make money and save money. The FM are your friends, your family, your folks. So one thing that that traditional students have done is, they may have family members. Like, for example, I had a lady one time that was saying she has twins going to
Mm-hmm.
college. And the twins, and this is a college in Georgia, like this person lives in Atlanta, and the twins between them have 37 hoodies.
Mm.
37 hoodies.
Wow.
Now, natured, I don't wear hoodies in the summer. Maybe her twins are wearing hoodies 365. But how much money was spent just on those hoodies? And so when you're
Right.
thinking about it, like a great thing that, and I've known several grandparents that have done this, is they say to their grandchildren from the day they're born, I'm not buying you a present ever. Every single holiday, every single birthday, whatever it is, I'm going to put money in your college account. Because right now, Helen, the average just not like a hoop-de-doo school, but like a median school, a very good school for 8 semesters at a state school is $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at, and there are some colleges that their annual cost of attendance is approaching 6 figures. So then you're looking at $400,000 for those bachelor's degrees. And so again, tapping into the OPM, that's the third stool, the third leg of the stool is other people's money.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 33 states. This is how I got my PhD for free. There are 33 states that if you work for their state's higher ed institution, you get free tuition and fees.
Yeah.
And so in Georgia, if you work for the University System of Georgia, you get free tuition and fees at any in-state institution. So a lot
Ah.
of times, we'll recommend to folks, if you get your bachelor's at school A, we recommend you get your master's at school B and perhaps your PhD at school C. Well, in working for the university system, you can get all 3 of those degrees completely debt free because it's free tuition and fees. And then, you have other benefits. So,
Cool. That's awesome.
yeah.
So how about the debt-free degree? It's deeply rooted in nonviolence 365 principles.
Yes.
Can you elaborate? I know this is a Favorite topic. Can you elaborate on how these principles guide students toward financial freedom?
Yes, 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 yes. So everything that I do to Helen and to the audience is grounded and rooted in love. And as a trainer at the Martin Luther King Center here in Atlanta, we teach nonviolence around the world. And our definition of nonviolence is that it is a love-centered way of thinking and speaking, acting and engaging that leads to personal and then cultural and then societal transformation.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go into these groups and say to these massive groups of folks, you have been told that in order to get a degree, you have to go into debt for 5 or 6 figures. If I can go into that group and say, no, 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 you work with me, particularly like if you start in middle school, there is zero reason to ever take a student loan. Zero. Like you've got so much time, so much lead time, you can earn any degree completely debt free.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the closer that you're starting and then we need to be thinking about that. Because what I hear a lot of times, Helen, is debt-free degree won't work. And the people that are saying that are the people who would say, okay, I need to lose 50 pounds and my high school reunion is a week from Friday. So I've got 10 days and I'm going to call this weight loss institution. What do you mean I can't lose 50 pounds in 10 days? Well, you stink and you don't work.
Mm-hmm.
That's just simply not the way it works.
Right.
But we are so ingrained into take the loans and figure out how to pay it off later. So it is love yourself enough to say no to student loans and yes to financial freedom. When you graduate without any student loan debt, you are earning personal and generational wealth immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Think about when you graduate and you can go and get whatever job that you want or start your own business because you've got some freedom. Then how can you give back to the community much easier if you're not paying? I mean, some of these students, Helen, they're paying $800-900 a month. Absolutely. It's just horrendous how much they're paying. What would $800 or $900 a month look like to a recent graduate, to be able to go in? And so that's how the whole nonviolence, how it's all grounded and rooted in nonviolence is this love-centeredness and this transformation of your financial health, your emotional health. It could be your physical health, obviously your finances and your future.
Yes, so true. And by the way, Janice says, thank you for touching on the subject.
Yeah.
As we're talking. Well, tell us about your book. I know you showed it up there. Can you show it one more time?
Yes.
Woo-hoo!
Yes.
Do you want to tell people? I hear you can get the first chapter for free, folks.
Absolutely get the first chapter for free. And I do a deep dive into the overview of the grit blueprint. And so oftentimes, Helen, so much of what I do is education. And folks can absolutely learn how to graduate completely debt-free just from that one chapter. So, of course, I'd be delighted for you to support me and buy the book. But really, to earn a debt-free degree, it's all laid out in that first chapter. And then, your ways to implement it. If you go to my website, you can schedule a free complimentary session with me. I had a dad that did that about a month ago, and he said, I don't know what we're going to do. We need $28,000. I was like, okay, so talk to me a little bit more. Well, it was $7,000 a year, which was $3,500 a semester. And so we strategized, and it was primarily using SM and FM. We didn't even talk about OPM. So it was primarily the student and then the student's family and extended family and the people they were familiar with. I said, you need to look at how you're going to get $3,500 a semester for the next 8 semesters. And we did all that in less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
$28,000 in less than 10 minutes. And so that mindset, I recently interviewed a financial aid director, and at her institution, she estimates that 10 to 15% of students earn a debt-free degree. And she said it's not necessarily from parents that are writing, checks for the full amount. Like, they're putting, my system into place, which says to me it's doable. And it also says to me 85 to 90% of the students are choosing not to. So perhaps they don't know it's available. But going back to my friend has known me for 25 years. And she still is choosing to take the loans to get her master's in education.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I guess people don't trust free money.
Well, or people are so ingrained that you've got to struggle.
That's right.
And you do have to struggle. It's going to be a struggle, but you get to choose your hard, and you get to choose when you're going to struggle. So I
Right.
would much rather people choose to struggle on the front end, to work really, really hard, to do all the scholarships, to do all the finding, to do all the digging, rather than just la di da di da di da and take it on the backside. The other thing is, I had a student that, a mom that was asking me, are there scholarships out there that will cover, not only tuition and fees for my master's, but like rent and all of those kinds of things. And yes,
Mm,
there are, and they're hard to find, but they're out there. That's certainly available. However, I think it's also unfair to people to say, "Well, I can't work full time and go to school," because we're each given 168 hours a week, and if you
mhm.
work 40 hours a week, that's 24% of your week. So
Yeah.
you still have 76% of your week to, have fun and, do whatever your family obligations are or whatever. When I got my master's, I started in October of 99. Alexander was 4 months old. He was not even sleeping through the night. So I was working
Mm,
full time. I was in my master's, and I remember rocking him with my text. I was reading him my textbook in this little sing-song voice in the middle of the night, giving
mhm.
him his bottle. Like, we do what we need to do
That's
to
right.
earn a debt-free degree. But if you tell yourself you can't, that's the thing is, at a recent college fair, I had a student come up and she was giving me a little bit of side eye, like, I don't know if this is even gonna work. And she said, just exactly what is your percentage of success? And I was like, 100%. And she was like, what? And I was like, if you believe you can earn a debt-free degree, then you'll go do it. If you believe it's too hard and you're going to choose not to, then you won't. And it's up to you.
That's right. You can spend the money.
There we go.
Well, thank you very much for all this information. And guys, get her first chapter for free. There's the link. I'm going to have the live link on the comment section or up in the top. I can
Okay.
move it up there probably as soon as I get a minute. And you can just click on it. It'll be live.
Right.
And
Thank
I
you.
don't see why you shouldn't do it. I may get it, tell my own gotcha. I know she's only 6 years old, but hey, they got to start thinking about that. And actually, her mom is looking to go to school again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
If they
uh,
did say to that 6-year-old, we want you to have some type of education post high school and you're going to do it debt free. That's it. Just set
mhm,
this expectation just as early as possible and just know this is what we're going to do. We're going to
right,
work really hard to make that happen.
true. Well, thank you again for coming on,
Thank
and it's always
you.
a pleasure to see
You're such
you.
a love and such a delight, Helen. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the amazing stuff that you do. I know I recently referred you to some really dear friends of mine. They said, you were amazing. And, I hear all the time in Atlanta, have you met Helen Panos? Oh, yes, she's amazing. And I'm so delighted that we're connected.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, we are connected through eWomen, another
Yes,
great organization.
yes, yes.
So, all right, guys, I hope you join us again next Wednesday at 12 noon. I will have Heather Wright. She's terrific as well. She is an IEP consultant. She helps parents with special ed, IEPs. If you don't feel like you're getting a fair shake from your school, she's the one to contact. So, join us next Wednesday. It'll be a terrific one you don't want to miss as well. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.
Bye bye.